Nothing greases my jibs like a belter of an album opener. I, like some of you watching, are unk, are chopped, are cooked, meaning we still appreciate the album experience in a singular track-dominated streaming algorithm model. It's unfortunately very common for artists to just kind of like, fart it out, that's it. Surely one of those tracks will make me $1 billion. Instead of a make music mentality, it is, I am coining, a do music mentality. You just kind of do it. You just kind of do music. But don't you worry. Some musicians do still believe that the album is God, and that it is an experience. So they craft their opening song to reflect the fact that you're not just going to listen to their album, you are about to experience it. So in this video, I want to shout out those who try a little bit harder, specifically when it comes to setting the stage for their piece of art. I have 10 of some of my favorite album intros, in no particular order. And if your favorite album intro isn't here, check it out. There's a lot of them, There's got to be at least 500 albums, and I only had 10 slots. My criteria for what makes a great album intro is more than it just being a great song. A perfect album intro is impactful, sometimes emotionally potent, and it illustrates the tones and themes that you expect to hear on the rest of the album. I'm surely going to miss some of your favorites. I am only one man. So please add to the conversation. Let me know in the comments your best picks. And ones I could possibly check out for a sequel to this video. Who's to say? Perhaps that could happen. I guess I'd be the one to say. But I think I covered a pretty decent amount of ground here. I got hip-hop, I got punk, I got noise rock, I got art pop. I think I got a little something for everyone here. But first, honorable mentions. Wait, so this is technically 11, actually. Shut up! Injury Reserve Outside. This is an honorable mention because I've whined about how incredible of an opening track this is on a recent video, and I don't want to repeat myself. But it felt criminal to not even mention it, at least remind you that it exists. So if you want a stupidly detailed description of this song, and the album it's attached to by the time I get to Phoenix, check out my recent post-rap video, because words themselves are hard to describe this track. Now, we shall begin. Fuck was that? Scared the shit out of me. What the fuck is that? It's my neighbor cutting grass? What the fuck? Oh wait, it's the song that's next. Oh, I get it. Tyler the Creator, Igor's theme. This has got to be up there with one of the most known album intros of all time, I want to say. You don't even really have to know who Tyler is to kind of guess, like, oh, the album is called Igor. The opening track, perhaps, could be Igor's theme. Tyler the Creator is a generational talent, and after seeing him live in July, he deserves all the adulation he gets. And fun fact, yes, that was the Don't Tap the Glass show. I was there. I knew before all you guys. Be jealous. He's generational not just because of his incredible live performances or his impeccable mustache these days, but he's someone who really understands the album experience. I bargain he's one of the most mainstream artists to know that. Igor's theme sets the stage perfectly for Igor. Colorful production, dirty samples, and a weird explosive edge. Very interesting note, vocals, not Tyler, actually. That's Little Uzi Vert. I just blew someone's mind with that information, and that's cool. Production on point and presentation A+. Tyler is someone who has proved over and over and over and over and over again how important it is to have a good first chapter to his story. Kendrick Lamar, United in Grief. No, this isn't here because it was somehow a TikTok trending audio like 3 months ago. I don't know how that happened, by the way. I've been on record multiple times saying that United in Grief is easily my favorite track off of Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. And maybe of all time, I'm just gonna throw that out there, just a casual toss your way. This is here because this song is fucking awesome. This is like if Black Star era David Bowie was commissioned to make a hip hop song. It's abstract, weird, and fuck it, it's experimental. Kendrick had some balls making this the first track on his follow-up to Damn. Soft when the pianos and choir vocal samples are leading the song, but harsh and painful when the super dirty drums and car crash sound effects take over. The instrumental is just insane. And Kendrick rapping about his hand-in-hand relationship with fame, his mental health, and his past trauma. Money wiping the tears away, I grieve different. All themes to be delved into extreme detail on tracks littered throughout the double album. A super slept on Kendrick song, I guess formerly slept on. Don't let the TikToks and YouTube short people scare you off. This is much more than just a trending song. Prostitute, Attempted Martyr. The opening song and title track from the Michigan Arabic noise rock band's 2024 debut album. See, I do listen to more than just hip-hop. Ha 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 ha. Been looking for an excuse to talk about this album for a while. And what better than the god-tier opening song on that thing? This one is interesting because compared to my last two picks, instrumentally, it really doesn't reflect the harsh and abrasive noise rock and post-hardcore that the rest of the album has in store. This is like borderline an ambient song with very gentle and uplifting synths. But it sets this calm before the storm vibe, with an impassioned speech in Arabic aiding to the vast size and gravity of this intro. It's a really moving song despite knowing zero Arabic, just feeding off the passion of the speaker, which then transitions into one of the most insane 3-track runs like ever. All Hail, into Judge, into M Data. What the fuck? This is straight up opening credits music. Check this album out immediately if you fuck with noise rock. The Armed Ultrapop. What a better follow-up to the band that Prosititute is currently touring with. Also weirdly, the title track of the album. A runaway favorite of mine from 2021. It was a rough start to me in the Arms relationship. Even after a few listens, I wasn't totally sold. Until I was, and that was in part due to help from the awesome opening track. It really did an awesome job sucking me into the glistening industrial grunge that the band had to offer. The vocals and synths are super ethereal, but simultaneously clashing with these insanely hard bass hits and like straight up harsh noise at points. This song is fucking awesome. If you want a little more accessibility in your noise rock, then you have come to the right place. Cause this whole album kinda rips, but shout out to Ultrapop. Sufjan Stevens' Goodbye Evergreen. Damn, time to get sad, because the opening track of Javelin is rough. Javelin is dedicated to Sufjan Stevens' deceased partner, and the opening track lets you know that immediately. Goodbye Evergreen, you know I love you. And instrumentally, this is easily one of my favorite Sufjan Stevens songs. More electronics present to aid in his acoustic singer-songwriter roots. This song is theatrical, bombastic, and so touching. It's a great track to reestablish that electronic singer-songwriter sound from the Age of Odds and The Ascension, and give you a taste of the emotional weight that this album carries. Idol's Colossus. Idols has become one of my favorite punk bands as of late, and like most 2018's joys and active resistance, was my gateway drug. They've morphed more into art rock and art punk with their most recent releases, but I argue that Colossus showed their artsy flair in the punk sphere back in 2018. Starting very low-key and cerebral, and less guitar strumming and more guitar feedback, slowly building in intensity until the song has no other choice and the bubble bursts. And nothing. Just more feedback. And then the punk rock song of all time starts ripping through the speakers. Intense, powerful, and a little cheeky, and bonus points for the wrestling references. The perfect start to a more progressive punk album, with a more progressive and ambient intro. Elite double feature song for all the punk rock heads out there. Young Fathers No Way. A band well documented on this channel. I very confidently proclaim them as the perfect band because they always have a little something for everybody. And their debut track from their breakout album still hits. This track honestly perfectly encapsulates not just the album attached to it, Dead, but their entire discography. Everything they would know in the present is sonically here. Atonal synthesizers, industrial percussion, and avant-garde instrumental inclusions like bagpipes. It's like the perfect encapsulation for everything that Young Fathers is. And after they found themselves doing the score for fucking 28 years later, I hope their profile continues to grow and more people discover this fantastic group. Danny Brown, Downward Spiral. Atrocity Exhibition might own the prestigious award of being the first hip-hop album to make recreational drug use look not cool and very scary and sad. Danny rapping over what I can only assume is a beat, a bass guitar, and like mind control synthesizers. With percussion, I'd sooner compare to furniture being dropped down a stairwell than drums. And the rapping itself is just damn. Danny storytelling the worst parts of his drug use, and the darkest thought process and psychosis brought on by these amphetamines. I mean, the song is called Downward Spiral. I really don't know what else one would rap about. Such a weird combo of vocal delivery, lyricism, and instrumentation. But it paints such a insanely vivid picture. And it really prepares you for the fact that this album is not going to be glorifying drug use. If anything, I don't know if there's any musical project that has made me want to do drugs less than this specific song. You're doing God's work, Danny. Thank you. Death Grips, Beware. Like, come on, guys. Best opening songs? Like, fucking, of course he's gonna be here. Infamously antisocial and abrasive hip-hop outfit Death Grips, pretty fittingly, opened their debut project Ex-Military with a Charles Manson monologue. 'Cause why not? Transitioning into the trademark hyper-aggressive delivery of MC Ride, and an instrumental I would sooner compare to a shoegaze band than a hip-hop instrumental. Ex-Military is my favorite Death Grips album, and Beware sets the stage so perfectly for everything that Death Grips is. Angry, purposely off-putting sample fiends. The start of a beautiful and not at all insane career for those three gentlemen, I can only assume. And finally, the opening track that showed me an album introduction doesn't necessarily have to be a song. It could be an auditory masterpiece. Madvillain, the Illest Villains. From the second the song starts and that orgasmic synthesizer starts playing, you know this album is going to be something special. MF Doom doesn't even appear on the song vocally, but he and Madlib tag team one of the most cinematic opening songs I've ever heard. Literally having a narrator, or like more fittingly a news reporter, breaking the news that the Madvillains are on the run. All laid over some abstract, goofy, and a little sinister freeform jazz. It explains Madlib and MF Doom's relationship on this album perfectly. And everything that they love in music and in their sample choices are here. It's such a fitting and perfect introduction to a rightfully legendary hip-hop album. Just making this video made me smile. Good artists still care. The album experience isn't lost in this TikTok trending audio era that we find ourselves in. Don't worry, everyone. You just have to look for the diamonds in the cobblestone or something. I don't know. That metaphor got away from me a little bit.